Wow. Good afternoon. It's a great day in the Mohawk Valley. Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us here today, and a special thanks to a welcome to Governor Cuomo, who is back again here in Oneida County in the Mohawk Valley. Governor, it's great to have you here once again and to announce some very exciting news for all of us here in the entire Mohawk Valley region in central New York. Today, you will hear from a variety of speakers I'll get to in a moment. I would like to acknowledge some of the elected officials and dignitaries that have joined us here today. Senator Joseph Griffo, Senator Dave Valesky, Assemblyman Bill McGee, Assemblyman Anthony Brindisi, Commissioner of OGS, Roanne DeStito, Chairman of the Oneida County Board of Legislature, Gerald Fiorini, Chairman of the Herkimer County Legislature, Vincent Bono, the City of Utica Mayor, Robert Palmieri, City of Rome Mayor, Joe Fusco, the Acting President of SUNY IT, Robert Geer, the Marcy Town Supervisor, Brian Scala, and I have to acknowledge, although he's not here with us, my good friend and partner in economic development, the President of Mohawk Valley Edge, Steve DeMio, who is represented here today by the Chairman of Mohawk Valley Edge, Laura Casamento. Steve, it's breaking his heart. He's in Italy, although that's a great place to be, that he couldn't be here for today's announcement. And I would like to also acknowledge all of the other elected officials that have joined us here today from the legislature, the councils, the town boards, the school superintendents, all the college presidents that have joined us here today. Thank you for being here. It is really clear that over the last 34 months, there's just a great new energy in New York State. And why is that? There is a sense of optimism. There is a sense of growth, a sense of a new beginning for a state that has had its share of difficulty. And why is that? It's because we have a governor who's made it a priority to bring back the new in New York, to instill in us a sense of growth and optimism that we haven't had in many years. The governor has made it a priority to revitalize upstate New York. He has taken a lead in tourism and agriculture in terms of making those areas so significant to our growth in upstate New York in particular, and he has led those efforts on all economic development fronts. And as well, what we're talking about today is high tech and manufacturing. These efforts are creating jobs for New York, which is what we need most. He has launched a series of initiatives, some right here in this room, like Startup New York, SUNY 2020, and the innovation hotspots to leverage resources of our universities to attract private investment and grow businesses here in New York. That's why we're here today at SUNY IT. The college not only prepares our students for the workforce, but it serves as an institution for research and development and innovation in new technologies. It's a treasure chest of new ideas. The faculty here, the students and researchers here are coming up with the next cutting-edge device in the lab and in the classroom each and every day. And in order for New York's economy to grow, we need to make sure that these new innovations are being brought to the marketplace, birthing and keeping businesses right here in New York State. That in turn will attract private investment that you will see here and more jobs to upstate New York. And I look forward to continuing to work with this great governor and his team to do just that for the Mohawk Valley. Today, you will hear from Assemblyman Anthony Brindisi, Senator Joseph Griffo, Dr. Elaine Calleros of SUNY's College of Nanoscale Science and Engineering, Daniel Armbrust of Sematech, Dr. Hector De Jesus Ruiz of Advanced Nanotechnology Solutions, and of course, last but not least, the Governor of New York State, Andrew Cuomo. Assemblyman Brindisi.
Thank you, County Executive Pacenti. Good afternoon. It's great to be joined by all of you here today. Let me start off by saying that over the last 34 months, the state legislature has had a real partner in Governor Cuomo, which has certainly helped turn around the way state government operates. We're thankful to him, we're thankful to his team, and today's announcement shows that our working together is paying off for communities right here in the Mohawk Valley. When there's an effective state government, private sector notices. And that's why we're here today for this announcement. Today, we're moving forward on a major public-private partnership that will transform the city of Utica and the whole region into the next major high-tech hub in the state and in the nation. Thanks to an investment by the state, the resources of SUNY IT and the College of Nanoscale Science and Engineering, and the collaboration of major industry partners, we are positioning this community for major economic growth. That means new jobs, private investment, economic activity that will be felt across the state. I am thrilled to help usher in this new era for the Mohawk Valley, and I look forward to seeing the collaboration move forward and deliver results for New Yorkers. Governor, you've been a real partner for the Mohawk Valley. You've been here in times of need, and your focus and your commitment to our economy is evident here today. There's a buzz in the air, and when I talk to people on the street, you get the feeling that Utica and the Mohawk Valley's economy, best days are ahead of it, not behind it. Thank you, Governor. Thank you all for being here today.
Good afternoon, everyone, and what a great day to be here on SUNY campus. In fact, it's a sunny day outside. We could put another N in SUNY today. It's a sunny day and a great new beginning for this region. Governor, it's a pleasure to have you here again. We appreciate your hard work and your availability. This is an individual who has, during his tenure as our leader in this state, been very attentive to the concerns across this state and has been very responsive and very present across this state. And we appreciate someone who is engaged and regularly appears in an area because he's concerned about the area and all aspects of this state. This is a phenomenal institution. We all know that. We're proud of SUNY IT, what it represents, what it has done throughout its history, its short history. And we know that this is a place of potential. And we know as a result of working partnerships, universities and the private sector, that we can make good things happen. And I think today we're going to see that. We're going to see when we bring innovation, education, and commercialization together in partnerships, that we can really see good results. And a lot of that comes from leadership, and it comes from a lot of people working together. When you look at the gridlock in Washington, the inability to agree how to pay our bills, I think we're so fortunate here in New York State over the last 3 years to show that we can work together and that we can do things together. And that is really attributed to the leadership of the governor, his ability and willingness to reach out, to arrive at a consensus, and to know and understand that there are so many unique needs across the state that require our attention and require hard work and effort. I really appreciate the fact that, Governor, what we've done here, working all together, is to restore credibility in this state. We have regained the confidence of the people in the state of New York. And most importantly, you have exhibited and demonstrated competent leadership in Albany, which shows that as a result of that leadership working together, we can get results. And I think that is so important and why we are here today. Because, as we indicated, this is the beginning for this region. It is a special day, but there's so much more that we can build upon as a result of these announcements that you're going to hear as we continue through the speakers today. And it's a continuing effort at generating jobs and generating revenue and growing the economy in a region that for many years has seen challenges. And now working collectively and working private and public sectors together with the university as a linchpin and CNSC, we are going to do some great things here. So it's an honor to be here today. I look forward to joining the governor, our SUNY partners, Advanced Nanotechnology Solutions Incorporated, Sematech, and Ultratech, and everybody who is here today, CNSE, because this is really an opportunity for the future. So thank you all for sharing this day with us.
Why am I the only one who needs to use this step? Wasn't that funny? You know, before I start going through the presentation, there's a couple comments I like to make, because 10 or 15 years from now, books are going to be written about the new economy in the United States and in the world. And mark my word that what they're going to be talking about is the M.Cuomo legacy. The legacy of the new innovation economy, where he's replacing the old model of, if it makes sense, industry will pay for it, which is now not working neither in the US nor overseas, with the new model of publicly run and publicly owned public-private partnerships. This is really the new innovation-driven economy in the world, and you have the governor here taking the lead in it globally. Today's announcement, as has been said, is further proof that the new New York is a reality. This reality is testament to what we all know as the entrepreneurial governor, Governor M.Cuomo, who's, you know, we talk about his vision and leadership, but there's a couple of additional elements to it that especially fascinate me. One is the sophistication, and the other one is the elegance with which he goes about putting these deals together. By any measure, today's announcement is a perfect 10. But only the governor would have been savvy enough to actually have it scheduled on October 10. And it's actually 2 perfect 10s on October 10. Come on, it's funny if you don't laugh. So the seed, I would like to start the presentation. The seeds for what you're going to be hearing about today were planted about in 1993 or so, when a governor by the name of M.Cuomo had the vision to invest the first $10 million in what became the College of Nanoscale Science and Engineering in Albany. It was the first 200 millimeter wafer facility at any university in the world. And at the time, some of our competing universities, who are now part of the consortia, made fun of why New York is investing in a 200 millimeter wafer facility. I can tell you they're not making fun anymore. They're part of the consortium. And as you see, what Governor M.Cuomo started became what I like to call the Lion King strategy, or the M.Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo economic circle of life, because this is real. I mean, look at that $10 million investment, and look what it's doing down in the capital region. Over 3,000 jobs on site, and it supports 13,000 nanotechnology jobs across upstate, from Buffalo to Long Island. The total investments on site at CNSC are in excess of $17 billion, with more than $16 billion from private investments. And what's more important is the average salary of those employees is $91,000, according to the Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics. And the capital region employment is 6.3% versus 7.3% nationally. So yes, the circle of life, the M.Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, is working. It worked in Albany, and it can work everywhere else in upstate. And just to show you some of the steps of how it's working, it truly has become what I would call the Andrew Cuomo Erie Canal for innovation. From IBM in East Fishkill, to the College of Nanoscale Science and Engineering in Albany, to CNSC Solar in Malta, to Global Foundries, to the Buffalo Medical Innovation and Commercialization Hub, which, by the way, is part of Governor Cuomo's $1 billion investment. The CNSC photovoltaic manufacturing facility in Rochester, which was part of the Sunshot Initiative funded by the Department of Energy, went initially to California. The company was going to go under, and your governor saved it, brought it to New York, and now it's becoming a success story for how you do a public-private partnership, to the point where the White House sent the head of the National Institute for Science and Technology to learn how this governor is doing business in New York, to the Smart System Technology and Commercialization Center in Canandaigua, New York, and today, Nano Utica in Utica, New York. So it is my honor and privilege on behalf of the governor to announce that today we're unveiling an agreement to create Nano Utica, which will include $1.5 billion investment and an additional 1,000 jobs from 6 major tech companies, led by Advanced Nanotechnologies, Solutions Incorporated, and Sematech. So join me in giving another round of applause specifically for the leader who made it happen, Governor Andrew Cuomo. This is part of the new landscape of the innovation economy. The governor has increased the cost of the facility to $125 million to double the size of the clean room to accommodate the needs both of Advanced Nanotechnology, Solutions Incorporated, and Sematech. The consortium will consist of 6 founding members who are part of who is who in our industry: Sematech, IBM, ANSI, Tokyo Electron, Etotech, and Lam. The partners will contribute a total of $1.5 billion, enabling the creation of 1,000 new jobs, in addition to the 500 previously announced. And the state is seeding it with $200 million of equipment and machinery. But it should be noted again that the new model for investments that this governor has started is not a single dime goes to the private partners. These $200 million are going into building the facility and the equipment to be owned by CNSC and SUNY IT and shared with the equipment, with the supplier partners and the corporate partners. And so I can tell you this, it is really happening in Utica today. And the reason why it's happening in Utica today is due to the vision of one man, and one man only, my champion, your leader, our governor, Andrew Cuomo. Please join me again in recognizing him.
Thank you. I'm Daniel Armbrust, President and CEO of Sematech. I'm really excited to be here, and joining me in the front row is Sematech's chairman, Bill Rozic. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, and especially Governor Cuomo. Governor, thank you for all you've done to help jumpstart the economy in New York, which has truly undergone a remarkable transformation over the past 3 years. Thanks for having what, in my experience, is the rare ability to combine leadership, vision, commitment, and consistency. This announcement continues to build out the high technology ecosystem that has proven to accelerate innovation. New York has what it takes: executive leadership, strong universities, and a commitment to public-private partnerships. New York State has a critical mass of industry participation that few countries anywhere on this planet can match. And the state has taken unprecedented efforts to encourage and attract investment in businesses throughout New York. Thank you, Governor, for refusing to settle for the status quo. Cemetech is an example of this commitment. For over 25 years, Cemetech has played a unique and widely recognized role in pre-competitive collaboration with the leading semiconductor manufacturers. For the past 10 years, we have partnered with New York and CNSE to grow our programs and partner more deeply with the supply chain. Today, we are solving major infrastructure gaps that, when done together, make sense. I'm delighted to announce today that Cemetech is renewing its partnership with New York State for another 5 years and will continue to invest right here in New York. This announcement dramatically expands on vital and needed New York-based capabilities for the industry, where advantages come by close proximity. Congratulations and thank you, Governor Cuomo, for your leadership, your vision, and reimagining New York's swagger in a highly competitive global landscape. Thank you for choosing a strategic direction and aggressively executing. We look forward to partnering with the state of New York and to make New York an international leader in high-tech manufacturing, research, and development. Thank you.
It is exciting to be here. Let me tell you, the few of you in the audience that I've known and met for many years, I know you know that this is not my first time up here. I've been here numerous times, and thank you for being here. My warmest thank you, though, goes to you, Governor Cuomo, and a very special thank you to you, Elaine, for your leadership. I'm Hector Ruiz, and I'm the founder and chair of Advanced Nanotechnology Solutions. And I want to start by congratulating the people of New York, and especially the two of you, and the many others who have helped you on a path to today's announcement. Together, you're creating a nanoscale technology revolution here in New York, and we're so honored to be a part of it. I've seen firsthand for many years that New York is home of the world's hardest working and most innovative workforces, as embodied by the CNEC and Sunny IT partnership. That is in part a tribute to the Sunny system, which is preparing students with first-rate education and generating top-notch university research. And it's one of the reasons that I'm so pleased to be here in Sunny today. It also today marks the welcome for me to New York one more time. Over a decade ago, when I was CEO of AMD, I made the decision to move all of our Silicon research scientists and development people from Austin, Texas, to the Hudson Valley and the New York Albany area. And about 7 years ago, we looked at this site as a possible location for a factory here in New York. And at that time, frankly, we thought that the region wasn't quite yet mature, it needed some additional season. But I can tell you that 7 years later, without question, the transformation is awesome. When I began planning an investment of a new facility, we looked all over the country and all over the world. And no one, neither here nor abroad, outlined a more innovative vision for how the public and private sectors can work together to invest in the future. And this is also a result of the team that is here, but mostly the leadership of Governor Cuomo. The first 450 millimeter fab in the world is here. Some of the industry's fiercest competitors are here collaborating on future of technology at Cemetech and at CNEC. The public-private partnership model that you have developed, Governor Cuomo, is unparalleled. And what you've done, Governor, with building the CNEC Sunny IT partnership that literally revolutionized the Utica-Rome region since I was here 7 years ago, is just nothing short of amazing. That's why today I'm happy to announce that we're launching a new company here, Advanced Nanotechnology Solutions, or Advanced Nano for short. Advanced Nano is a company that has been formed to help make three-dimensional interconnect a reality in the commercial world. We feel very fortunate to be partnering with CNEC and its unparalleled research capability to make 3D a reality in the commercial world. 3D silicon has widespread potential from consumer products to image sensors to supercomputers. We will focus on advanced packaging and interconnect services to fill a very important vacuum that exists today in the food chain of this important ecosystem. And we want you to know that it is our intent to be a leader and to bring essential manufacturing jobs back to the United States. We can see no better place in the world to host it than right here in Utica, where we will bring 1,000 high-skilled jobs to this new facility. And the governor's new Startup New York program will provide a boost to recruiting efforts by creating tax breaks for the employees, helping us attract and keep the best and brightest here in the Mohawk Valley. You know, it is important to recognize that what you've done has a much broader context, that your efforts are part of a huge global sea change that is bringing key manufacturing jobs back to the United States. The resurgence of U.S. manufacturing is happening all over the landscape, in automobiles, energy, smartphones, and PCs. The game of silicon is changing from a game of shrinking geometries to one of changing materials in 3 dimensions. And all of this interdisciplinary talent that exists here in the U.S. and more precisely here in the state of New York is essential for this to be a success. The division of Governor Cuomo and Dr. Cayaleros, New York is now the world's center of gravity for nanotechnology. It's a great example for others to follow. It has helped New York business climate take a major turn for the better since Governor's assumption in office. Not only that, your efforts are part of a huge global sea change that brings back to the U.S. jobs that we at one point in time thought had disappeared. And more precisely, they're coming back right here in the Empire State. Thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you one more time, and it's a pleasure to be here.
What a great day. What a historic day here. And when I began speaking, I talked about the optimism that has been evident in this state over the last 34 months, and the optimism here as we sit in the Mohawk Valley that has grown. Just a couple weeks ago, and I want to thank Dr. Cayaleros and the governor for connecting CNSE with the site across the road in making the end user for the Marcy site a reality as we move forward on that project. But today is about history. And it is a history that those of us that have been working on, knew was going to come and have been working hard, but we needed that piece. We needed a leader. And you've heard a lot today about a great leader. And a leader is one who doesn't speak in words, but speaks in action and attitude. And there's no question that this governor does that. Please join me in thanking and welcoming Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. How great is today, huh? This really is a great day. They're going to talk about it for a long time. And it's truly my pleasure and my honor to be here today. First, to your county executive, Anthony Pacenti. I worked with your county executive in a whole host of circumstances. We've had a diversity of experiences together. I've been with him in the middle of the night, in rainstorms, covered with mud. trying to help people through flooding. I've been with him in conference rooms, working through issues with Native Americans. And I've been with him working on economic development issues that brought us to today. I've worked with people all across the country. I can tell you that your county executive is really a superstar and a great talent. And you're blessed to have him, and the state is blessed to have him, and I am blessed to have him as a partner. County Executive Anthony Picenti. Now, you heard from Dr. Elaine Calleros, all right? Dr. Elaine Calleros is truly, and I use this word advisedly, he is brilliant and he is a genius at what he does. And he has been a one-man economic development vision for the state of New York. You look at the capital region, the economy in the capital region, the Albany region, has been transformed from what it was because of nanoscale and the growth of the nano industry in the capital region. Home values have gone up, salaries have gone up, tax collections have gone up. It has just been a juggernaut for the entire economy. Now, I would really like to be able to stand before you today and say, I'm an expert on nanoscience, and I know nanotechnology, and I understood anything that President Armbrust was speaking about, and Hector de Jesus Ruiz, and that I understand 3D interconnect. Is that what you said it was, 3D interconnect? Yeah. Something like that. I am not a nano expert. We went through the facility a number of times. I've gone through it with the President of the United States. I still don't understand what they're talking about in truth. But I can tell you this, it works. It works, and it has made the capital region an international destination for this future of manufacturing. And we have companies coming from around the world to visit this facility. It was also not just picking the right field 20 years ago, but the model that the state used through Dr. Calleros was different than what the state had done before. Normally in economic development, you invest in a business. What they did at the College of Nanoscale is the state owns the facility, the clean room, and the equipment. And the companies come for the equipment and the clean room, which they could never replicate on their own. And it's such a sophisticated piece of equipment, and such a sophisticated facility, that the companies actually come to the facility and we own the facility. That was a much different model. And it was another component to Dr. Calleros' brilliance. That's why the companies didn't come, grow, take our money, and leave. They stayed because literally they're anchored by the facility, which is the benefit. And that's the same model that's going to be deployed here in Utica. So this is not a benefit or a program that is fleeting. This is literally an investment in SUNY IT, and it will remain in SUNY IT. And as it builds and as it develops, more and more companies need to come here to take advantage of it. Dr. Elaine Calleros has been doing this for many, many years. His love for this state, because he could do this anywhere on the globe. He chooses to do it in New York. We know why, because it's probably the best spot on the globe anyway. But he has recognized that. He stayed with us. Let's give a big round of applause to Dr. Elaine Calleros. And a big round of applause for President Armbrust and Dr. Hector de Jesus Ruiz. Welcome to Utica. Welcome to SUNY IT. To Senator Griffo and Assemblyman Anthony Brindisi, my colleagues from Albany, let me say this about them. It has been a different few years for Albany. In the past, you remember that Albany always had political fights and they were going back and forth. Every year you had that charade of Albany trying to pass a budget and it's never on time. and the gridlock that was Albany, which we now see, frankly, in Washington, D.C., right? We lived through that for many years in Albany. We didn't have shutdowns. We just had budgets that never got done and went on month after month after month. We tried something different over the past few years. And it was deliberate, and we said, look, it's not working, the relationship isn't working, and we're going to try something different. And rather than playing politics, and rather than being Democrats and Republicans, let's think of it a different way. We're Democrats, we're Republicans, but we're New Yorkers first. And let's act as New Yorkers and leave the politics at the door and figure out how to get things done for the people of this state. And that's just what Senator Griffo and Assemblyman Brindisi has done year after year, 3 on-time budgets in a row. The government is working, and it's thanks to their leadership. And let's give them a round of applause. Let me say this, because everything has been said. Just a little context for today. Last week, I was with a group of Canadian CEOs who had come down from Canada, and they were having a conference in New York. And these were the big CEOs, and there was a potential for more economic development for the state, so I was spending some time with them. And they wanted to talk about what happened with the upstate economy, specifically. They work in upstate New York, approximate, obviously, at upstate New York. They also work in New York City, and they didn't want to talk about the New York City economy. They wanted to talk about upstate. And why did the upstate economy drag the way that it did? And the conversation went on for a little bit, but we basically talked about a couple of factors. The first is what the state did to itself, which is develop an anti-business perception, an anti-business reputation, primarily because we were. You know, sometimes the perception is a reality. And it's as simple as being one of the highest tax states in the nation. We're 49th, 50th, the most expensive state in terms of taxation. And we've been talking for years about mobility, and businesses can leave, and people can leave, and they don't have to stay anymore. And we were right. And people shop, and companies shop, and individuals shop, and they say, why should I stay in New York if the taxes are so high? Let me go to another place where the taxes are lower. Why are the taxes so high? Because we spent a lot of money in the state of New York. That's why the taxes were so high. One of my first budget briefings, I was going through the budget briefing, I was a new governor, and someone from the Division of Budget said, well, we don't have a taxation problem. We have a spending problem. I said, what does that mean? He said, well, we spend a lot of money, and that's why we have to tax. I said, yeah, well, that's like saying, I don't have a weight problem, I have an eating problem. You know, one leads to the other. We were spending about 10% more every year in the state budget. And then local governments, about 10% more every year after year after year, year after year. People's incomes weren't going up 10%. The economy wasn't going up 10%. We were literally spending more money than the people in the state were making. And the taxes kept going up and up and up and up. And it drove business out, and we did it to ourselves. Second factor was, especially in upstate New York, part of the businesses we were in went out of business. You know, products become obsolete. Some companies were in the 8-track business. Some companies made VCRs, and just one day they're out of business because the economy went past them. We were a manufacturing economy. We were the Erie Canal. We were goods by barge and by freight. We made things. We were steel mills. We were clothing mills. We were textile mills. We were the defense system. We're air defense. And it closed, and it moved on. And literally, no fault of our own, the business is closed. But then third, we didn't do what we needed to do to retrofit to the new economy. And we didn't take a step back and say, okay, that business is gone, that product is gone, let us retool and come up with a new business plan and find out what we do, because we can't just sit and let the economy pass us by. We didn't do that. Why has it been different over the past few years? First, we tackled the taxation problem because we tackled the spending problem. We were spending about 10% a year. Now we spend 2% a year on the state side. 2%. We passed a property tax cap where local governments, about 98%, comply with the property tax cap. 2% for the local governments. So the spending came way down. You went from 10% to about 2%. Some localities did even better than that. County Executive Anthony Picenti, 0 proposed, right? So we got it in New York that we were spending too much money. We spent less, we brought the spending down, it freed up revenues, and we started to do tax cuts. Tax cuts. Today, as I stand before you, every person in the state of New York pays a lower income tax rate than the day I was elected. Everyone's taxes are down. Middle class up to $300,000, lowest tax rate in 62 years. Think about it. Business taxes down, individual taxes down, and every year, year after year after year. So the businesses now look at New York and they see a different story. And the taxes aren't going up, the taxes are going down. And it's not that we're just talking the right talk, we're actually doing it. And not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and now there's a pattern. And now it starts to look like a different New York if you're a President Armbrust. And you say, you know what? Maybe I like the trajectory, I like the way the state is going, I'm going to invest. That we accomplished. And second, we got to work. And we said, okay, that business closed. Air defense, that's gone. They closed the base. Where do we go from here? We formed regional economic development councils. Nice big name. What does it mean? We got the leaders of every region. We came together, we rolled up our sleeves, and said, what do we have in this region that we can sell? What do we have in this region that we can market? What can we do in this region that will make us competitive to grow our economy? And we did it region by region. Why? Because the Mohawk Valley is a little different than Buffalo, it's a little different than the Adirondacks, it's a little different than Long Island. So region by region. You put all of that together, building off higher ed. Why? Because that's where the jobs are coming from. They're coming from tech transfer. They're coming from higher ed. We have that beautiful SUNY system all across upstate New York, a beautiful asset, building off higher ed, putting people together, stopping the politics, telling businesses you have the right economy. It brings us to today. And today shows that how when things are going bad, which they did for many years, there's almost a negative synergy where the bad breeds more bad. A region starts to go down, people start to leave, property values start to come down, more people start to leave, businesses don't come. There's a negative synergy. There's also a positive synergy. There's also an inverse. And when it starts to come together and it starts to build, that feeds on itself. Look at where we are today. Phase 2 of development before the building is out of the ground on phase 1. 500 jobs was phase 1. 1,000 jobs we announced today. We're at 1,500 jobs. And the industry is just starting. It is just starting. And I tell you, it reminds me so much of the growth and the birth of the capital region. And you want to see potential? Go look at Albany, and go look at what Nano did in Albany. And you can feel the same type of energy happening here. We welcome these companies, we welcome the jobs, we're proud to have them here, but also we're proud of ourselves. Because you know who made today happen? You made today happen. Because you rolled up your sleeves, you came together, you did the hard work, your leaders did, the economic development organizations did, and you said, we're not going to sit around and look at the old days, we're going to figure out what to do and how to move forward. And that's why today is a transformative moment, I think, for the whole Mohawk Valley. Because today says it's not about yesterday, it's about tomorrow. It's not about what we were back in the day. It's about what we're going to be. And the best wasn't in the past. You don't have to open a history book to know about the Mohawk Valley, because you're writing a new future today. And I really believe the best days are ahead and not behind. You think the Empire State was great. You ain't seen nothing yet. Thank you for having me.
Special thank you again to our dais today, President Armbrust, Dr. Ruiz, our great friend, Dr. Calleros, Senator Griffo, Assemblyman Brindisi, and please, one more time for our great governor, Andrew Cuomo. Great news, great growth. Governor's words are clear. The future is today. Thank you again, Governor, for coming here and this announcement. Thank all of you for joining us today. That concludes our program. Have a great day. Spread the great news. Thank you.